Hello everyone, and welcome to Ultimate General Gettysburg. If you're unfamiliar with this title, let me just give you a quick briefing here. Ultimate General is a game similar in style to the Total War series, and in fact it is the brainchild of prominent Total War modder Darth, famous for his Darthmods. As you can probably guess, Ultimate General Gettysburg takes place during the Battle of Gettysburg, the several-day Battle of Gettysburg during the American Civil War. In this game, you take command of either the Union or Confederate forces as they duke it out for supremacy of this little town/city. For the purposes of this video, though, I'm going to play as the Confederates, who are on the offensive at the start of the battle. Confederate soldiers are universally high-spirited and courageous. They are able to sustain heavy fire without breaking and are hard, experienced troops. Confederate equipment is, though, less advanced compared to Union, and they lack professional military training, leading to a disadvantage in prolonged engagements at range. So the idea is, with the Confederates, you need to use your superior morale and superior hand-to-hand skills to rout your enemy on the charge. There's also this very customizable AI system in place here. As you can see, in ascending order, it's the least difficult to the most difficult, and then once again in ascending order, the left is least aggressive and the right is most aggressive, and you can choose a mix of either. For me, though, I'm just going to play as balanced. Mobile and aggressive, the balanced AI uses his units wisely to attack or defend from the flanks or the center. This becomes a weakness in defense because he prefers mobility over holding secure locations. Yeah, it's probably the best mix we can use for this video. Here we go. We're going to jump into the battle. Arriving at Gettysburg, 1st of July, 1863, 9:30 a.m. in the morning. So yeah, you can think of this game as a series, like a chain of historical battles or scenarios, and there's a sense of permanence. If your soldiers die in the last engagement, they will not be present in the next engagement. So really, it truly is a simulation of the several-day Battle of Gettysburg. But anyway, as you can see here, we have 4,000 soldiers and 20 guns available to us right off the get-go, and the Union is at a slight disadvantage with only 2,000 soldiers and 6 guns. But the reinforcements are very heavily tilted in the favor of the Union. Got a little blurb here about our current mission. General Lee gave the order to avoid any engagements until the Army of Northern Virginia arrives. The latest reports indicate that only some local militia defends the town of Gettysburg. There is an opportunity here, General. Your mission is to capture all the western ridges. You have 2 infantry brigades, 1 artillery battalion, and some skirmishers at your disposal. 2 more brigades will join you, along with another artillery battalion. Serious resistance is not expected, but act with caution and hold Hare Ridge at all costs. If you manage to capture other points but lose Hare Ridge, your efforts will be in vain. Good luck, General. In Ultimate General, you have all of your units are in this sort of command structure, chain of command, if you will. You've got your corps, your brigades, your armies and divisions, etc. And every single one of them has a historically accurate commander. And this plays out in the battles themselves. You can select the commander of, say, the Corps, and it will select the Hesse Division as well as the 3rd Corps Artillery Reserve. And then if you select Hesse Division, it will select all of these brigades, and you command them all in one deft motion. It's very, very cool. We can also take a look at the Union forces here. They've got a few divisions coming here. The 1st Army Corps is making their way to reinforce, I believe. We've got a couple infantry brigades on their way. The Cavalry Corps, consisting of the 1st Cavalry Division, is the only opposition we have on the field at the moment. It's all skirmishers and vedettes and a bit of artillery, so we have the upper hand to begin. So we need to make a strong push towards the town before the day is done. Alright, here we go. Let us jump right in. Fight! Alright, so this is the map of Gettysburg here. Gettysburg, of course, being this town. But we are on the advance here. We've got... oh shit, the rest of our division's forces are already here, arriving. But we need to move our units forward to engage the Union. Has skirmishers. We need to move them forward first of all, so they can get a little bit of skirmishing going on. Cover is very important in this game. The rate of death for your units is quite slow, as you do have to use those units for the next couple days. So it's not like you will lose 2,200 men in one battle. The morale system is quite different at Total War as well. Your units will break several times in one battle, so you will never have a fight to the death type of situation. Well, at least in my experience, you will not. There is quite a advanced line of sight system at play as well. As you see, I have to move all my artillery forward because they do not have a line of sight towards the enemy. And in fact, if I press M, there's a topographical map that I need to use to determine my line of sight. So I've got Archer's unit here advancing on these skirmishers under tree cover, and Davis is going to advance through this little valley here to intercept, well, not intercept, but engage Devon's skirmishers. I really need some artillery cover though, but I've got 2 units of reinforcements on the way. See, there's a lot of fire being exchanged between these units, but there's not a lot of death going on. Okay, well, Gamble's skirmishers is taking quite a few casualties there. Every dead man you see on the field represents 10 soldiers, so they lost about 40 men there. But as you can see, they've already fled. They took about 40 casualties, and they're already fleeing the battle, so it's not a situation where your units just fight to the death. But I am going to advance and take this opposite side of the river. I'm going to see off Gamble's skirmishers yet again. I'm going to try to push them back to the ridges and even then attempt to take the ridges. I need to assault these artillery pieces as well because they are very much a thorn in my side, and I can probably get them out of position. Speaking of artillery, my artillery is moving up to the first ridge here. I'm not sure if this is Hare's Ridge. Yes, it is Hare's Ridge, and it is worth 3,500 victory points. And we are advancing on... Hold on, let's see if I can pause this. Yes, there is a variable time in this as well, and that you can pause and play the game. But we are advancing towards these 2 ridges here, Oak Ridge and Oak Hill we can capture. I'm not sure what this ridge is here. I think this is possibly the seminary, but you do gain victory points as you capture locations, and that is what determines your success throughout the battle. Archer has already taken a few casualties, but we have done quite a lot of damage to the skirmishers here. But look at that, we are pushing the Union back, but Pettigrew needs to advance quickly. Oh shit, here we go. We got our artillery firing finally, and we need to shell some of these skirmishers so they freak the fuck out. Pettigrew needs to hurry the fuck up. Brockenborough needs to head to the flank. Our infantrymen here are charging the skirmishers quite well, quite easily. Oh shit, I lost track of my own skirmishers, and now they are embroiled in a conflict with the Union skirmishers, so I'm going to try to pull them back if I can. I'm not sure how many casualties they've taken. It's hard to say, but look at this. We are now pushing across the river, and I gotta move my corps forward. There we go. So this is my corps command, led by Lieutenant General Ambrose P. Hill. He is the commander of the 3rd Corps, which is all of the units under my command right now. Oh man, we are kicking the shit out of Gamble's skirmishers right now. Heth's skirmishers are taking a bit of a beating as well because they got kind of sidetracked there. Oh, we've taken quite a lot of casualties from Davis's unit here. About 100 men, I'd say. But we need to push ever onward, get a few shots off, perhaps. Pettigrew is going to charge those skirmishers. Here we go. Brockenborough needs to see off these vedettes. Yes, look at this. We've got Union reinforcements already. Cutler and the Iron Brigade. But we need to advance very quickly on these ridges here. Damn, we're taking a lot of casualties from these skirmishers, unfortunately. My artillery seems to be quite useless right now. I may be overextending as I'm not receiving a lot of artillery support anymore as we've advanced over whatever ridge this is. But we've lost line of sight, and we've lost 200 men from our line infantry unit. I'm just going to rotate them a bit here. Pettigrew is tearing them up, though. Brockenborough is seeing off these vedettes on the left flank. the southern flank, if you will. My skirmishers are taking quite a shit kicking. But we are now slowly pushing on towards the ridge. If we manage to take the ridge, we could probably hold it. Oh shit, let us charge Caliph here. Try to take him out while we have the opportunity. If we can take out those artillery pieces while we have the chance, then we'll be set. The movement system of units is quite unique. I think it plays well. Unfortunately, there is a small issue in that you have to drag units to have them move, which is quite cool, but unfortunately you cannot really determine the facing of the unit. As you can see, I can hold tab and rotate my units to face whichever way I want, whichever way, but if I were to drag them, then they'd have to face the way that you drag them, you know what I mean? Like if I want them to come here and rotate like that, it's a bit nitpicky. It's not as useful as I'd hope, perhaps. But I do overall enjoy the movement system. It's just, I'm kind of wondering if it's a choice to be different for the sake of being different from Total War. But I don't really know. I do enjoy how it plays out. And look at this. We are now taking Oak Ridge. I just wish that it was a little more friendly. A little more on-the-fly friendly. Okay, we've got Brockenborough heading south to see off those vedettes. Archer is also going to head south. Hess skirmishers are now just skirmishing with Cutler right now, but unfortunately they're taking a few casualties, but we do have 73% cover, and I doubt Cutler has much cover at his own disposal. Look at this. We are now taking out the Union artillery pieces. We're seeing off those skirmishers. We just need to retreat to the ridge and hold it as best as possible. And get our artillery in the mix. Oh shit, Brockenborough has broken. He is 23% morale, and now he's falling back to the Harmon household. Archer is dealing with very little cover here, and Gamble's skirmishers are doing their worst. But now we can flank south. Shit, Davis is broken as well. Okay, well, we took out Caliph and his artillery. But Davis is breaking, so we have to move Pettigrew north very quickly to reinforce. I was hoping to take Pettigrew south to break Cutler, but it doesn't seem to be going well. Artillery is very useful if you get them into close contact with the enemy, as they have canister shot. Unfortunately, these vedettes are... Oh shit, I forgot a piece of artillery back on Hare Ridge. It looks like we got a strong Union force brewing in the middle, so we got to get Davis down to counter. Crenshaw and Murray, McGraw, they all need to move so we can get a few Oh shit, now I'm moving all my third corps here. That was not what I meant to do, but we might as well get all of my units to attack these strong Union units. Pettigrew is holding off the skirmishers on Oak Ridge, and he hasn't really lost any units, but he's got great cover, so he can see off those skirmishers no problem. Davis needs to head south and see off these Union soldiers very quickly because they're advancing on my artillery. Speaking of canister, though, see if we can get some canister shot off on these assholes. But look at this. We got a nice pincer move going on. The Iron Brigade and Cutler are in my grasp, and they're taking a few shots from canister. Unfortunately, Cutler has seen off Brockenborough, and we're only halfway through the day. Damn. If I were to pause it, I will show you this really quickly. There's a balance of power in the top right. It appears that we have an equal amount of soldiers, really, but Confederates... We as the Confederates have a lot of artillery. Unfortunately, the Union has even more reinforcements coming, and we just have to hold this ridge and see if we can see off Cutler and the Iron Brigade to take the middle of the field. Hess skirmishers will have to move to the ridge as well. I feel like Crenshaw and Marier need to realign here. Zimmerman can attack those skirmishers. Unfortunately, Brander is being overtaken by my... Well, not mine, but the Union vedettes in the rear there, and we don't have anything to support. So unfortunately, I think we lost one piece of artillery because I was not paying attention. But we have seen off Cutler and the Iron Brigade, and now they're taking losses as Brockenborough just fucking lets loose. So that's fucking awesome. Unfortunately, we have Paul coming in the rear to try to take out Pettigrew. So we're going to have to build a line along the seminary here. McIntosh's artillery battalion has arrived. Should we deploy it at Harris Ridge to support Major Pegram's artillery? I would say so. Unfortunately, I don't think we have any infantry with that group. Let's see. Oh, whoops. I was hoping I could find my army layout yet again, but it's not looking that way. We got to get Davis lined here. Brockenborough is trying to see off Cutler again, but Archer is broken, and the Iron Brigade is also broken. We have really routed a lot of the Union forces. Unfortunately, it's not enough. We need to see them off wholeheartedly. The Iron Brigade is actually reformed, and now Davis is fleeing. Damn, man, we're taking a shit-kicking here. The Union reinforcements are really grinding my gears, but Pettigrew is entrenched very heavily in Oak Ridge, and we can see off Baxter and Paul if they were to charge. I wish we had more men to fire at Cutler, though. Brockenborough is shooting at Iron Brigade for some reason, when in reality we need to see them off, and Archer should really needs to reform, actually. My artillery is now being taken out by those vedettes on Oak Ridge, or McPherson's Ridge, actually, is what it is. But we can advance our reinforcements towards... oh my god, we're seeing an all-out rout of my forces in the middle of the field. Heth skirmishers are holding strong, though, but they don't have much cover. Pettigrew is peppering Baxter's force very nicely here. We just need to advance to the other side of the ridge and let loose. Here we go. Unfortunately, Davis, our second largest unit, is now about to flee, but we are letting loose on the Iron Brigade with our artillery. We're having a bit of a problem with these vedettes, though, and I don't have anything to counter those guys, unfortunately, but we can fire at the Iron Brigade. We need to break the Iron Brigade as soon as possible. Pettigrew has caused 250 kills already, and they've lost only maybe 100 men, 50 men. Davis has killed 300 men, Brockenborough 100, and Archer about 200 himself. Unfortunately, the morale of these units is very shitty. But I'm trying to get as much as my artillery to fire at the Iron Brigade as possible with canister. The vedettes are still sacking my artillery in the rear, so I'm going to get Archer to deal with it if I could. Unfortunately, he is still broken. Heth skirmishers are going to move north to see off those other skirmishers. Davis has broken, apparently, which is not the greatest, actually. Man, we have captured quite a lot of territory here, but we are slowly being pushed back by the Union, and my lines are not doing well. Davis is receiving a lot of casualties, and my artillery is not doing nearly as many casualties to the Iron Brigade as I would hope. Brockenborough needs to find some cover, but it's unfortunately not going to work. Johnson will fire at the skirmishers, I suppose. Wallace will fire at Cutler, and Rice, man, what are you doing, Rice? Get canister shot, buddy. Get rid of these vedettes, please. This is fucking ridiculous. Pettigrew is just ripping Baxter a new one, it seems. He is receiving quite a lot of casualties now from the Union as a result, but that's kind of... Oh, shit. Looks like Brockenborough is being seen off by the Iron Brigade, quite unfortunately, and we've lost the river here. We have very little infantry, which is a bit of a problem. If only we had some more reinforcements coming. I do not think we do. Somehow we lost Seminary Ridge, though. But we continue to hold on to, whatchamacallit, Oak Ridge. And for some reason, Baxter is not breaking. But he is losing a ton of men. And Pettigrew has killed 420 men already. 420, bro. Lol. Davis is now moving into position to deal with Cutler. We need to move into that cover as soon as possible, though. And I'm going to move 2 of my artillery pieces to deal with those skirmishers. Merrier and Crenshaw can deal with these assholes. Get Davis to reform. There we go. Pettigrew is taking quite a lot of casualties, but he's taken Baxter down to 1,000 men. Less than 1,000 men. Now we just need to take care of Paul. If we could kill Paul, kill quite a lot of Paul's men, that would be fantastic. But now we've got Archer defending our artillery pieces from the vedettes. Unfortunately, we did lose a unit of artillery. Likewise, the Union have lost a piece of artillery as well, but we can move Davis into cover. The Iron Brigade is taking an absolute shit-kicking from Merrier and Crenshaw. Well, apparently they aren't killing nearly as many men as I'd thought with the canister shot, but we have broken the Iron Brigade and we can now begin to advance with Brockenborough. Davis just needs to maneuver into this cover. See, it's a little finicky. I just want this unit to move exactly in that cover, and if I could just draw it without having to micro them later, that would be fantastic. That's what I mean when I say it's not nearly as user-friendly as I would hope. Pettigrew is now being shelled on both sides by Baxter and Paul. He's lost 150 men, but I gotta say we've killed quite a lot of Union soldiers in reply. Davis, unfortunately, is not holding his ground. Brockenborough, the same. Likewise, he is not holding. Unfortunately, our artillery is also being surrounded by these skirmishers, so they are moving a little bit as well. They're wiggling. Davis is doing quite well. He's killed 400 Union soldiers. I'm not sure how many men he has lost, but unfortunately, I think Brockenborough is taking the biggest shit kicking right now. I may switch out Brockenborough with Archer. There we go. Archer has 22% morale, which may be enough to actually withstand an attack from the Union. I think we need to just... Well, we have no option but to just continue to... Oh, shit! Pettigrew is broken. Finally, let us get him on the other side of this ridge a little defensively. The day is nearly over. It's 11:30, and the Union reinforcements have seen us come undone, unfortunately. Our lines are an absolute mess. I've definitely played this battle better, but Archer is coming around to see off the Iron Brigade. My artillery is being absolutely useless. I'm going to have to switch back to shell to see off Cutler. Crenshaw is trying to rock a bit of canister, but it's not working, so we'll switch to shell as well. Zimmerman can switch to canister and actually rotate to see off those skirmishers. McGraw needs to move to get back into the fold of our units. Unfortunately, Pettigrew is being absolutely dominated by the Union forces. He is pinned and surrounded on all sides. So I think we need to pull an all-out retreat to McPherson Ridge. I would rather lose the ridge than more men. Because our men are limited. We have many days to capture Gettysburg, but we cannot replenish those losses. We can get reinforcements, but it's not enough. Pettigrew is retreating at full pace towards McPherson's Ridge. Hopefully we can see off these skirmishers before he arrives. My artillery, I'm trying to concentrate fire on the Iron Brigade, Merrier and Crenshaw, of course, letting loose on them. If I could rotate Crenshaw around, that is. Zimmerman is going to fire, actually he's going to hold on to canister shot to fire at Cutler when that is. Pettigrew and Heth are actually retreating away from the main body of my forces, which is the dumbest thing I've ever witnessed. Look at that. We have now taken the Iron Brigade down to a respectable amount of men. The Iron Brigade was one of the stronger brigades that they had, but now they are a shadow of their former self. Let's see. We've got Hurt on the very far ridge, apparently. I didn't realize that we had those units. We're taking some casualties from our artillery due to Cutler fucking firing at them, but we can advance on Oak Ridge from the north, perhaps take it back from Baxter and Paul. Zimmerman had done quite a few casualties to Cutler, about 50, not bad at all. The day is coming to a close, though, and this mission is a bit of a wash. It's not going nearly as well as I'd hoped, but it's certainly going. It looks like the Union Army is closing to attack us. Doubleday's division spotted approaching from the south, so that's Biddle. And oh shit, what have I done? Rice, there we go. We've got Biddle and another brigade of infantry on the way, but we can probably do a last-ditch effort to take out the Union soldiers on Oak Ridge. If we can charge Paul and break him in melee, the same with Cutler, if we can do that, that would be freaking great. Cutler is taking a few casualties from our canister shot, but it's not nearly as effective as you'd think it was, as effective as you think it would be. That's what I mean. The casualty rate is kind of slow. Even when you overrun artillery with cavalry, it takes quite a while to see them off. I mean, you are playing on an hour-by-hour basis, so I suppose it makes sense. But sometimes it's frustrating when you do not get the results that you expect from that kind of thing. Pettigrew is fighting Paul off, and Davis has seen Cutler off. So look at that. We've now broken Paul, and we have taken the Oak Ridge yet again. Brockenborough continues to take pot shots at these vedettes. Archer is losing quite a few men to the Iron Brigade. Unfortunately, we can't find much better cover, but we can get our artillery to absolutely shell the shit out of the Iron Brigade. We have now penned the Union soldiers into this little killing field. Unfortunately, we don't have the men to see it through. We can shell the shit out of their men in the front here, though. The Iron Brigade has broken. Wallace, Rice, and Johnson can take care of the Iron Brigade, I think, as well as Hurt. There we are. The battle has been delayed as there are victory points in contention. For example, Oak Ridge is currently in contention from us. We have charged it, but I think we might as well just pull back to McPherson's Ridge. We're going to take too many casualties. Davis and Archer, let's see if we can get a lot of casualties on the Iron Brigade while they flee. Brockenborough is now in perfect cover to see off those vedettes. Come on, Davis, show me what you're made of. Let's see, we might be able to just position him there. We'll hold. We'll make a line with Archer as well. Oop. Hey-oh. There we go. That's not bad. Pettigrew has lost about 400 men already. So we need to take some pot shots at these skirmishers, I suppose. Try to see them off. For some reason, these vedettes just keep coming back for more. I'm not really sure why that is. They're not even really doing much damage to Brockenborough, but they're taking casualties every time they attack. Archer has already broken, and Davis now needs to pull back because he is outclassed by the Union. Oh shit, Pettigrew is just breaking from all these fucking skirmishers. He knows he can handle it, but for some reason, all my artillery is facing the wrong direction, it seems. Yes. Damn, man. Crenshaw is firing at those skirmishers. Merrier firing at the infantry. Perfect. Wallace, Rice, and Johnson. Let's get Hurt. Where's Hurt? Hurt, for some reason, his morale is extremely low. Oh shit, there's Union artillery now shelling Archer. Let's get Archer back. Move Davis into cover, perhaps. See if I want to get Davis to come up here and turn around. It's basically impossible, but what can you do? Damn, we need to get some canister shot loaded and quickly because the Union soldiers are now attacking my artillery lines. Luckily, Pettigrew is in place to let fucking loose there. We are taking quite a few casualties in Zimmerman, really. All my artillerymen are being shot down. That will reduce our future capacity for artillery fire, I suppose. The less crewmen we have to man our guns, the less effective said guns are. For some reason, my artillery refuses to turn around, but now Davis has been surrounded by a few Union units, and now he's going to take quite a few casualties. Pettigrew is going to be attacked in the rear by those Union soldiers. I'm not sure why this battle is still delayed. There's no points in contention. Perhaps Hare's Ridge, I'm not sure. But now the Union are on the counterattack, and we have to weather the storm until the day ends. There's not much we can do except utilize our artillery advantage to shred them apart with canister shots. Zimmerman is all but defeated. His unit is a shadow of what it used to be. Crenshaw just absolutely refuses to fucking turn around. But the Bucktail Brigade is now coming into range of our rifles, so we can rotate a bit. Archer can fire at the skirmishers and Cutler because they seem rather weak, but we need to see off the Bucktail Brigade as soon as possible. They are coming into deadly range with our unit Merrier. Pettigrew is letting loose on Biddle and the Bucktail Brigade, it seems. Archer is charging for some reason. I wasn't sure I told him to do that, but nevertheless he has done it. Let's get some shells in these artillery cannons here. Whatever the hell I'm saying. Get Hurt in the mix as well. Hurt can bring on the Hurt. I don't think Rice and Wallace can actually see what's going on, so I'm going to have to move them like so. Our artillery is now pulling back to avoid the slaughter of melee combat. Archer is taking an absolute ship kicking. Archer and Brockenborough are not doing so hot, but Davis is beginning to fold. Pettigrew is trying to hold, but it's not happening. I'm not sure why this battle has been delayed so. Perhaps it's because we are still in open conflict with those Union soldiers. I'm not really sure. But at this rate, they're going to completely run us off the field, unfortunately. The only thing saving us from complete failure is the timer. If this were to go on, I think all of our forces would just be annihilated. But I'm calling an all-out retreat to get to back to Hare's Ridge. I'm going to leave Davis and Pettigrew back to hold the Union whilst my artillery retreats because they're fucking so slow. Hess skirmishers will have to attack those skirmishers, and I'll get Brockenborough involved as well. Hopefully we can see them off. Pettigrew is beginning to rout. Davis as well, not doing so hot. I really need to get into more melee combats, I guess. Perhaps I could see off Cutler, get a mass rout going, but I doubt it. Pettigrew, fuck man, get going. Ah, Jesus Christ. Okay, Davis can now retreat to some better cover. Brockenborough is seeing off the skirmishers, it seems. Heth skirmishers beginning to rout. Pettigrew still routing. Has he reformed? No. He's taking very, very heavy casualties this whole battle. And as you can see, there's a ton of dead men all throughout the battlefield. And Pettigrew is actually just the dumbest asshole I've ever seen because he's continuing to charge his routing men into the range of Biddle, and that's not very good. Brockenborough will charge the skirmishers, but yes, let's just pause a minute here and get our artillery set up on the ridge. Here we go. We've got a high point on this hill, so I'm going to get Rice and the 3rd Corps, 2nd Division. No, that's Archer. Shit. Archer can probably come around like so. Who is this? Wallace. I've already... Oh my god. That's the thing, though. You can also set really complex paths for your units. I can have them fucking just looping around as much as I want, but I'd rather not do that right now. Zimmerman is all but annihilated. Davis is one of our stronger infantry units right now, and we've got a ton of artillery that needs to set up on the ridge, if at all possible. Get the 3rd Corps involved. Let's see. Oh, shit. Okay, well, that's my entire 3rd Corps now moving as one. See, that's quite a cool feature as well. You can select your entire corps or your division or what have you, and they will all move as one single unit. You will not even have to make groups or formations, even though you can do, and it's very neat indeed. Brockenborough is now seeing off all these skirmishers. Heth supporting, and let's see, we have crossed Willoughby Run. I certainly appreciate the topographical and geographical effort put into this map. It's fucking fantastic. Although I gotta say, when I bought into this in early access, before they added the topographical map, line of sight was a little difficult. It was kind of a guessing game as to where your men needed to be to see what, but this makes it so much easier. Now I play with it on all the time. I've got Davis and Archer in position to see off the Bucktail Brigade and the like as they advance. I'm going to move the remaining artillery I have to Hare's Ridge, to the high point there, and they can shell my opposition from that vantage point. There we go. We've seen off the Union forces from the ridge. Unfortunately, Pettigrew and his men are absolutely exhausted, and they need to retreat to Hare's Ridge as well without taking any further casualties from skirmishers and the like. Davis apparently is facing the completely wrong direction, and Archer is not in range to be of any use. But there we go. Davis is now in heavy cover, and he's going to fucking let the fire rip. He's going to bring the thunder any second now, and the Bucktail Brigade will fall. No, they've taken a few casualties, but it's not nearly enough to see them off, so perhaps we can charge them in the flank there. Archer, oh shit, Hurt is once again left in the lurch without any support. Okay, we've charged the Bucktail Brigade in the flank, and we're going to get Heth skirmishers to this far side of the ridge. There we go. Brockenborough is now in the middle of our formation to see off Cutler if the opportunity arises. But there we go. We've used our superior morale and combat prowess to see off Bucktail Brigade. So now we got to get Davis back to Hare's Tavern, perhaps. Yeah, if we can get Pettigrew into, what is this? Dieselman. If we can get it to Dieselman's farm, this little hill here, perhaps we can let loose on Cutler. Sir, it seems that in a few minutes the battle will end. Both armies are exhausted and need to resupply. Okay, it is actually 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and we've been pushed all the way back to Hare's Ridge. I gotta say, well played by the AI. If it weren't for the reinforcements, though, I don't think they would have had the day, of course, but that's probably the most obvious thing that I ever could have said. Cutler is trying to advance up Willoughby Run, rather, towards Pettigrew, but he's receiving a lot of fire from Brockenborough. I don't really know what he's playing at right now. Pettigrew has half cover, which isn't great. Brockenborough has a quarter cover. Not very good. Cutler himself has very little cover, and if I were him, I would just pull my forces back. This battle is over, and you're just causing unnecessary casualties as you're running up this useless area. I don't know what the hell's going on, but we're going to charge with Pettigrew and get Brockenborough to get a few more casualties. There we go. He is now falling back. There we go. Let's get Pettigrew to halt. Yeah, you can halt your units by double-clicking as well. There's all sorts of little neat tips and tricks that do make unit movement very easy. But like I said, the one major sticking point I have that just keeps on annoying me is that you can't issue a move command and then rotate the unit in place like you would be able to in Total War. But I don't want to make too many comparisons between Total War and Gettysburg because, for all intents and purposes, they are similar games, but they are not the same game. And I think that would be playing down the efforts of Darth. You know, I don't want to say it's a clone, basically. But anyway, the war is over. It is a draw. When I say war, of course, I mean the battle. And when I say the battle, of course, I mean the day is over, because the battle does go on for several days. It is only the morning of July 1st, and then the next day will be the afternoon, I believe. But look at that. We've held on to Hare's Ridge, but we did not actually capture any points from the Union soldiers. The Union lost a few more men than we did. And look at that. You can get into really in-depth and see, look at that. We lost Brander's battery and Zimmerman's battery, but the Union soldiers lost Caliph's battery. Let's see, who lost the most? It would be Pettigrew. Pettigrew lost 600 men. Davis lost 600 men. Oh my god, Davis. So sorry. The Union soldiers did not really lose as many men as I did, unfortunately. They took more losses, but it was divided amongst more units. So I think, in the end, I'm at a loss here. Pettigrew and Davis did cause the most casualties, though. And it was more casualties than they lost, which is always an upside. Archer, likewise. Brockenborough, likewise. not looking so hot for the Union. They lost quite a lot of men. But there you go. Oh shit, here's our order of battle, etc., etc. You can go into in-depth and just look at all these stats if you really want to, but I don't think we will. We can continue to the next day, and before you attack, you can choose a separate tactic that has this nice little display here. We can attack and take Gettysburg head on with our forces. We've got reinforcements coming from the north. We can flank the Union left if practicable. Practicable, I'm not really sure. But there you go. You have this little... It's kind of like a tree of choices, and it affects your campaign, and it's very neat. But you know what? I was only going to play one day. I may play this game later on as either the Confederates or the Union. Let me know which side you would prefer to see. Personally, I picked the Confederates because they're kind of the underdog, and I've played the Union before. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope if you were not interested in this game, you are now, and maybe you've never heard of it, and you have now. That's all I'm hoping. But anyway, I will see you guys next video.